All right, so we will get back to sawing the table in half later, because in this video, I'm gonna show you how Mr. Beast made boring content go viral using something called input bias. And an example of that was he made a video that got 3.5 million views of him cutting a table in half with a plastic knife. So to set up the context here, if you're not familiar, Mr. Beast is really the master of YouTube and social media in terms of just getting and garnering attention and just really maximizing the YouTube algorithm and knowing how to whisper sweet nothings to it, because his videos get hundreds of millions of views averaging right now per video. He has over 400 million subscribers across all of his social media properties, YouTube being the #1 kind of primary flagship, if you will. And you may or may not have come across one of his videos at some point while browsing social media, or some clip of one of the main videos. He'll create scenarios quite like a reality show host, where he'll set up a situation where like he will invite several hundred people to play Squid Games in real life, and there's a elimination round, and right from the start, you know, you're captivated because the stakes are high, and you see that like there is a lot of money and time invested in terms of like actually making this happen. And he has these quick little emotional payoffs that will happen early on in the video. So he'll do this technique in copywriting that's called open loop. What is an open loop? It basically means like to do an open loop technique, which is not the actual tactic of input bias, which I'm going to define for you coming up here and give you the complete example. But open loop is another great tactic to know in terms of copywriting, because it will increase the rate at which people actually read your content all the way through. An open loop is, for example, starting a story but not finishing it. So people are kind of like left on like a cliffhanger, right? They want to know, how's the story going to end, or how's the situation going to end, or what's going to be the answer to the question. So there can be like something that you say that creates a number of implied questions, and people are just going to want to watch or read until the end. And that's what Mr. Beast does a lot of, and what effective YouTubers and social media experts do to actually garner attention and keep your attention from the beginning until the end of a reel or a video. But before Mr. Beast was well known, early in his career, he was struggling to get views. He was trying to be funny, trying to be smart. He was just trying everything. But then he stumbled upon something weird. And one of his first viral videos, it was him cutting a table in half with a plastic freaking knife. It took hours, and the content was undeniably dull, yet it garnered 3.5 million views. But it was one of those aha moments for him, because it got him to thinking like, why would people be willing to watch this video? What was the principle that was actually at work here? Well, the video that got 3.5 million views, him cutting a freaking plastic table in half with a plastic knife, it demonstrated his commitment to spending enormous amounts of time and effort into creating content, thus leveraging input bias, which is where people value things more when they see the effort that is invested. Let's take a quick look at a clip of Mr. Beast talking about this actually being done, and we'll actually look at a copycat of the video who copied Mr. Beast's video here and did the same thing with great success.
In high school, I put the plastic knife in my pocket for some reason. I don't remember why. Then I just started scraping against the desk, and I was like, oh, wow, I can cut this desk in half. Did this for like 5 minutes. The teacher was like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop. And I was doing the calculation in my head. I was like, it would take me like 10 hours to cut through this. Okay, I think that would be like a video where people would be interested. So I went to the store on the way home, and I bought like the cheapest plastic knives I could find. And then I just got this like $20 fold-out table. Went in my room, hit record on the camera, and I just went it down, and I was just cutting through it. And I think that took 12 hours.
And to prove to you that it wasn't just a fluke, someone more recently, because apparently Mr. Beast's original video was taken down, you can't actually find it, but that was a clip of, you know, from the actual video and him talking about it. Some sort of copyright claim, I guess maybe with the music or something that he used. But another YouTuber named Nick Kale YT, he basically copied this formula, the exact same scenario. And here you go. He has 50,000. He has 55,000 thumbs up. It's unclear how many actual views that this has garnered. Oh, wow. Almost 1 million views. There you go. And let's take a quick look at Nick doing his thing. So obviously it's not original, but same principle at work. Input bias. You see he's clearly leveraging and is aware of the same principle, He's playing it up a little bit.
All right, it's 5:30 p.m. on Valentine's Day, and I'm in my parents' basement sawing a plastic table in half, dude. What am I doing with my life? All right.
Bit of humor. See the time counter going up, 3.5 hours, 4 hours. And it's ridiculous, you know?
It's dark out. I want to be done with this, but we're finishing this tonight.
And that's what makes it worth watching.
Okay, that's it.
There you have it. So again, the tactic at work here is input bias, leveraging input bias, where you're showing extreme effort, time, costs, resources, input to make people value your content more. And, you know, it needs to be done in a way where it actually comes through. You can't just like, I don't know, like write 1,000 words and write 10,000 words. And it has to be conveyed in some way. And if you want more examples of this, you can check out Mr. Beast's content, where again, like he will set up a scenario where it's immediately clear that he's leveraging, again, this tactic of input bias in all of his videos. And he just wants to constantly, his philosophy, he talks about this in interviews, constantly reinvest. Pretty much, he's like, oh, I don't care about money. You know, I just want to make the best content possible. It's an admirable philosophy, and he seems to be genuine about it, in my opinion. As he just says, like, I just reinvest almost everything. I don't really have much money in the bank. I just want to grow my channel. I just want to make the best content for people. And so he'll set up these expensive scenarios where, for example, like they will rent an entire warehouse, and they'll do a challenge where it's like, all right, you know, what happens when we put two people who must live in this room together, two complete strangers, for 6 months, and if they do so, they will earn $1 million each. But if they, you know, quit early, then there's some kind of consequence, right? Or there's some other stakes that are set up where they're just going to be given certain temptations, or they're going to be punished in certain ways. So the challenge is going to get harder. For example, they're just going to leave the lights on 24/7, which obviously can just, you know, have certain physiological, mental effects in terms of effects on your sleep and whatnot. But again, like to create this scenario, again, you go watch any of the videos, it takes money, it takes time, it takes thought, it takes editing, it takes a crew, it takes finding the right participants and vetting them to make sure that they're going to be, you know, ideal and interesting for the situation, and kind of like create a dynamic that is, you know, fascinating to watch. Again, he's kind of like positioning himself like a reality show host. But let's bring this back to you now in terms of implementation, okay? Because, you know, chances are that you don't have the type of budget that Mr. Beast has, but you want to leverage this principle to get more views for your social media content, for your content in general, if it's on your blog or some sort of a PDF, a white paper, for perhaps your offers as well. A simple example of this in my own business that I've seen is the more kind of time that I have put in with my team to polish our web design, to make it simple, to make it clear, to make it look like we have invested money, which implies, you know, that, okay, like we're a real company, we're making money, we have the talent and ability to design and fulfill not just for our clients, but obviously our own website design is a reflection of that. While still keeping it, you know, simple and straightforward and doing it in a branded, consistently branded way. When we've put time into doing that, every single time that we've done a redesign, our conversion rate has gone up. It has gone up because it shows that like money and time has gone into that web design. And again, it's a reflection directly of Grobo's service, because we give our clients, you know, other business owners and entrepreneurs, an all-in-one digital marketing team, and empower our clients to delegate all their digital marketing tasks and projects without the headaches of hiring. So it's an all-in-one digital marketing team. You get 13 skill sets for less than the cost of one full-time virtual assistant. It's an incredible deal. I'll talk more about that at the end of this video. But anyway, getting back to it, what are some other ways that you can apply this tactic of input bias? Well, the easy one is just do something that requires ridiculous amounts of time, effort, and money. For instance, when I was putting together our proven sales conversion pack, which was one of our, 7 or 10 info products that we ended up launching. We launched, courses and templates and things like this. And so the proven sales conversion pack, I put hundreds of hours into actually creating this thing. It was basically a database of credible A/B tested case studies that were broken down and organized into like a software database searchable format. You can select we still have this on the Growbo app today. Every client gets access to it for free. And if you're interested in getting access to this, just leave a comment and I'll shoot you over the link. Comment something like conversion pack, and I'll shoot you the link so you can get access to it for free, because we have charged $200 for this in the past, adjusted for inflation after all the COVID money. It would be like, I guess, $400. But yeah, I'm willing to give it away to you for free. All I ask is please give a like, hit that like button. Yes, I am bribing you. And comment with the word conversion in the comments, and I'll send that to you for free. So, but like, to create this, it took hundreds of hours to create the software, to actually curate these case studies, because there's a lot of BS case studies out there, to then go through and write these like original strategic interpretations of what was working, why was it working, classify it in terms of like how long does it take to implement, because many of the tactics take as little as 5 minutes to implement, but they can have an outsized impact on your conversion rate. So for example, like implementing an on-demand demo video compared to asking people to book a call to have a demo video with you. So you'll get more leads. We saw our leads actually increase significantly, even though they were giving the same exact information, because people just prefer to watch things on their own time rather than get on a consultation call, which can feel like kind of salesy for a lot of people. So that's one of the tactics, for example, that is in the Proven Sales Conversion Pack, among many, many others. Again, it's over 313 case studies. So something like that is a good example. And I wrote a blog article about it, and it got shared relatively significantly and well. Other videos that I've made where I'm going over like our 53-point conversion checklist, or I'm going over in depth, for like almost an hour, more sometimes, different examples of funnels, or I'm giving you a complete breakdown, as I did in a recent video where I showed how we made $138,000 from a simple digital marketing funnel. And again, like I was sitting for, I think, over an hour, like recording that. We edited it down so that it was a bit shorter, but I think it was like 37 minutes. But it's in depth, and I show you how we use that to then build a $1 million plus business, which we achieved a few years later after we built that 138K funnel. We became a $1 million business a few years later in 21. So that's another idea for you. Then other ways that you can do this is just documenting something, like documenting the entire process of the work that you're doing, on or in your business, and emphasizing, again, just like we saw in the example, of how long it actually takes. And by the way, to that point of emphasizing how long it actually takes, from this HubSpot article that analyzed Mr. Beast and his tactics related to this 3.5 million view video with the plastic knife and the plastic table, cutting it in half. They kind of actually broke it down into two things. They called it input bias, and they called it costly signaling to engage the audience. It's basically the same thing. They just kind of like parsed it out as something that's kind of separate. And the way they described it is, another one of the psychological principles Mr. Beast uses is costly signaling, which essentially states that the more money and resources someone spends to market their products and services, the more trust someone will have in the brand. So again, it's just one way you can stand out. Just like put in more human effort in terms of time, in terms of overall effort, and in terms of money, and people are going to notice, right? It works for ads, it works for content, it works for blog articles, it works for info products, it works for white papers, and this can work for you too. So some examples of this might sound something like, I called 1,000 businesses to learn this one thing, or I spent $5,000 testing ads to find the winning formula. And you can even jack those numbers up to be 10 times as much, and they'll be even more impressive. And this will work if you show the struggle, the hours, the investment. Again, that investment, it's kind of like the stakes. It has to work. And will it work? Because again, like this person just put in all this effort. Like what if it doesn't work? Or, but it's implied value immediately, because like, okay, well, if they're going to tell me what they learned from calling 1,000 businesses, like perhaps there's something valuable here. And there ideally there is. Like you need to give people some sort of a payoff. Set up the expectation and then you fulfill it. Set up the expectation, you fulfill it. Again, just it's building the trust. If you are to just purely set up the expectation, then it kind of flops in terms of, the payoff. I mean, you'll still get probably a decent amount of views, but in terms of like building a long-term brand and trust, it probably won't pay off that much. And you have to set the expectation, you have to both set the expectation and then fulfill it. And with these title examples, they emphasize the input. Another example might be, I spent 40 hours, maybe 400 hours analyzing our top 100 clients to find this pattern being an example of an open loop, because it begs the obvious question, well, what's the pattern? You got to find out, you got to click through and watch. For service businesses, it might be, we audited 500 landing pages to discover the one element that increases conversions. It could be 500 landing pages, it could be 5,000. People will value the insight more because they see the work that went into it. In terms of like showing the effort, showing the money and everything that went into it, you're proving you're not lazy. You're working hard because you care about the end result, and you did the work so that your audience doesn't have to. And speaking of doing the work so that you don't have to, I'd like to tell you about Grobo. Grobo, we give you an all-in-one marketing fulfillment team. We empower you to delegate all of your digital marketing tasks and projects without the headaches of hiring, so that you can focus on the high-level strategy or whatever it is that you are best at doing in your business, focusing on your customers, focusing on your clients, or in general, just having us save you the time and or save your team the time of having to do it. And we give you fast turnaround times. There's no cap in terms of the number of tasks or projects that you can delegate on a monthly basis. The only limit is on how many tasks you can have running that we're working on it at a single moment. So for example, depending on the package you're on, you can delegate 1 or 2 or 5 or potentially even 10 at a time. And the price is less than the cost of one full-time virtual assistant. But instead of a VA, you're getting an entire team of dedicated professionals. These are not virtual assistants. These are dedicated professionals, people who are web designers, graphic designers, copywriters, content writers, apps management, ads management, video editing, project management, and more. And you can learn more at grobo.com, or if you click the link in the description directly below this video, you can get access to our 33 examples PDF. And in that PDF, you'll get 33 examples of projects that you can delegate to Grobo right now. So I encourage you to check it out, because we can help you to apply this exact tactic, making your marketing deliverables look higher quality and like more effort has got into them, because more effort will have gone into them, but it won't have to come from you. So click below to get access to the 33 examples. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and consider sharing it with someone who will also get value from it. Because I basically destroyed my desk and I'm going to finish sawing it in half right now, especially if you don't subscribe. And then I'm not going to have a desk to work at. Actually, I will, because I kind of have a desk fetish. I have like many different desks in my home that are exactly like this. So, but this desk is special, and you should definitely subscribe, because it wasn't the desk's fault that you didn't subscribe. It was my fault. And so I'm just rambling on, and now we just have to murder this desk because you didn't subscribe. Why are you still watching? Go subscribe. I'll see you soon. Bye.